Hey everybody, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to Gwenddwr. It is still the afternoon of our first day, and I think what makes the most sense is to go ahead and get the animals going today, and then I'm just going to skip time off camera until, well, the grass will grow a little bit. We'll be able to get a second layer of fert on it, and then it will grow again. So the next episode after this one, I think we'll either be doing grass work or we will be starting to get some crop in the ground, because we can't, if I go to this menu, the only thing we can plant right now is canola or wheat or barley. We're not really down with either of those. We're not going to do any root crops. So day 3, we can get sunflowers in. Day 5, soybeans, right, and corn. And I think I want to stick with sunflower and or soybeans this year and not go canola like we do almost every map. I don't want to do that. Let's do something a little bit different. So the Fiat is parked up. Well, sort of. It'll be parked up tonight before the sun goes down. But for now, everything is put away. All this stuff is put away. And right over here, I did get a little trailer. So we've got this MB track, and something I noticed about it is it doesn't have dynamic hose. So I bought the other MB track mod that I have that is converted to more realistic. That one didn't have dynamic hose either, so it's possible that it's this trailer. I'll do a little experimenting. But when I momentarily owned that other MB track, I got it in the sort of the MB track Mercedes green, you know, and I got a trailer to match. Well, I ended up selling that other Mercedes and we kept this one. So this is going to be the color for our farm. Every farm has, at least in my world, every farm that I run has a color, right? Company color. And that is what we're stuck with. But you know what? Sometimes that happens. We'll figure it out. I'm going to have to go to probably Forbidden Mods, I think, is the mod site that I know that has the most sort of German mods and, well, MB track mods. And I will need to, I'll try to find another MB track that is more realistic and has dynamic hose. I don't know why dynamic hose is such a big deal to me. I mean, I guess it's kind of a big deal to a lot of people, but on the way over here I was thinking about, you know, what if there was some, I don't want to say like universal standard, but what if there was some grade that a mod could get? And in my world it would be MR, gearbox, handbrake, right? Oil change, dynamic hose. There'd be a lot of things in there. And then I realized, oh yeah, a lot of people really don't care about any of that crap. They just don't care. So I think you'd be, I mean, you could do it. You could certainly try to create some type of governing body for mods, but it seems like a waste of time. Nobody cares about that stuff. So I did buy carefully. I did buy a little water trailer, the smallest one, the Aqua Trans, which is like 7,300 liters. I think that'll take care of us for the time being. I didn't want to get into the Coda Universal. Don't need it. We have no milk to haul. We have no fuel to haul. So we'll stick with just the Aqua Trans. Sorry, I'm concentrating. We'll stick with just the Aqua Trans for now. And then if we get into something later, well, I don't know, then we'll get into something else later. But for now, I think this will work for us. I also leased the 4D modding animal trailer. I think it makes sense. To go get the animals first. Reason being, you can put hay in the trough before you have any animals because it consumes the entire bale. But I don't think you can put water in until you have animals, because the number of animals that you have determines what the volume of the trough will be. Did I say that right? I think I did. So this we're going to lease this, or we did lease this. We'll use it till we're done, and then we'll give it back. The little water tanker we do own. So animals are, I think they're like more or less straight ahead. Yeah, they're right down there. So we'll go get, this thing holds what, 9 sheep, 14 or something. We'll go get some animals. We'll try to get this thing carefully up into that little meadow. I assume we'll get it in there somehow. All this stuff is in real life, it's so much bigger than it looks in-game because we have this drone cam and because there is really gargantuan equipment in the game. Even in base game, there's really, really big equipment. Whoa. Oh yeah, this thing has an invisible collision. I was told about it, and I always forget to take it out. But in real life, you see an MB track or something, and it's a really big tractor. It really is. So we forget. And now we throw this thing on here, and this is probably, what, 24 feet, 28 feet? So we've got quite a rig going on here, but we'll figure it out. And all this is, it is converted to MR. It is. It is not. It is. I think it is. I think it is. But we are definitely fighting this thing right now. Just trying to stay on the road carefully. Carefully. So I did get all the fields prepped. They all have 2 layers of fertilizer on them now. They've all been plowed. They've all been cultivated. And I got a note from somebody saying fertilizer really needs to be mixed into the soil. You can't just throw it on top. You got to get it in there. And as much as possible, I do try to do that, but it's interesting to hear that it really is that important to do that. So good tip. We will try to be aware of that. And what else? Was there one other thing? I can't even remember. But yeah, this little farm is coming together. This is a really nice sort of a change of pace from the Western Shore that had really become very big, and it was getting to the point where it was really difficult to manage, but it's a really good map as well, and I'm looking forward to V2.0. I don't know if it's going to be V1.1 or V2.0 or what it's going to be, but apparently there are some pretty big changes. Right. So can we unfold this thing? We can. So we'll unfold this, and now this is the problem that I always run into. Every time I try to use the shuttle, I end up opening the dialogue. So let's do it this way for now. Let's do this. Not that. Let's do this. There we go. 14. Okay. Oh, man. 60 grand. That's all right. That's all right. We knew that coming in. So we'll do that, and now we're going to fold this thing, right? And I think after this is all folded up, I think we may have a cover as well. No, you know what? It's spring. It's not that hot yet. We're not going very far. I don't think we have one anyway. Here's a workaround that I found for that. So if we just unhook, right, and then hook back up, that's how you do it. That's how I do it. Quick fix, but it does work. So let's pull over here, and then we will get backed in right around here. I don't think we'll hit that trigger again, so we'll be able to shuttle back to forward gears, no problem. And like so. All right, that was the easy part. Now we need to get up to the meadow and see what I think probably the easiest thing to do would be just to pull in and make a turn in there, turn around inside the meadow, and then pull back into the animal trigger at the gate, facing the opposite direction, drop the animals, and just pull straight out. Maybe we'll do it that way. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. And what else is going on? I brought the Bobcat down, and I did buy 8 bales, and I bought that little bale trailer, so I was going to put the bales on the bale trailer, and then I realized that the shed where I want to keep those bales is about 6 feet. Oh dear. You gonna make it? I think we're gonna make it. Yeah, the shed for those bales it's right next to the store where the bales get delivered when you buy them. So there was really no reason to load them up on the trailer, take them over and unload them. I just carted them over. It's more than that. It's probably, I don't know, a couple hundred yards. But close enough that it wasn't worth it to load the trailer and then unload it. I really like this right now. This is my favorite part of More Realistic. This doesn't frustrate me at all. There's enough movement that you don't get the idea, okay, this is the trailer's too heavy, we're just going to stop. I'm very frustrated right now. It's nothing like that. It's just a feeling that you're hauling a decent amount of weight up a pretty steep grade. I find that to be very realistic. I think I've mentioned in videos before, I've seen a couple of YouTubers not quite rage quit, but pretty close the first few times they used more realistic. More realistic is, it's a very aggressive mod. And if I could speak to the modder, and I suppose I could find a thread or a forum or something, email them. But I would tell them, you know, there needs to be balance in gaming. It's not just developers that have to balance their content. Modders do as well. I know there were some FS17 mods that I used. And I can't remember the guy's name. I know he's German. But he made a dripper, a boom dripper setup. And he made each of the little rubber dripper nozzles an actual, like, flexible thing, like soft body physics. And if you use this thing, if you downloaded the mod, activated it, right, the whole deal, if you were to unfold the boom and get all those little rubber dripper tips flapping, your frame rate drops to like 2. It's like, in fact, I have it loaded. I have it loaded because I want to use it. I've always liked it, but where is it? This thing. You remember this from the mod contest? It's a fantastic mod. It's really well put together, but it's so over the top that it's unbalanced. It's not really fun to use. It's too complicated. It's a frame rate killer. We're going to try to use it, of course, because I'm the glutton for punishment. But there needs to be balance, not just in the game itself, but in mods as well. So more realistic at its finest, when it's really, I don't know, working the way I think it's meant to, it's really, really cool. But I understand why people don't like it, because it can be, I wouldn't even say it's too realistic. It's just unrealistic. It just doesn't work. And that is, yeah, there's that invisible trigger. Not a trigger, invisible collision. Yeah. Did I say trigger earlier? I meant collision. So yeah, all gaming comes down to balance. And I think a lot of games that you see that don't do well, or that flop for one reason or another, or whatever. Not all the time. Sometimes there's technical problems. Sometimes there's story problems. But a lot of games that you see that don't do well, the problem with them at the end of the day can be summarized as they're not balanced. And we pulled out of the trigger, so let's back up here. Can we get back in it? There it is. And we will unfold. Like so. And then we're going to unload. Like so. There we are. We'll fold this back up. Eventually. There we go. And then I'll do the same thing I did earlier. We will drop that. And I guess the best place for this at the moment, let's go ahead and take this back over to the parking lot at the store. We're kind of a big deal in this town. They let us do whatever we want. So we'll just take this over to the store and drop it there for now. This way. I joke about that, but I've actually worked for people like that. In my teen years, when I was doing like trades, I worked for a house painter for a while, painting houses. I did construction. I worked as a laborer. And I've worked for some bosses that were like, I don't know, just unbelievable. You know? You think of a word that applies, because I'm thinking of one. They would do things like that. They would just really make things difficult for everybody around them. Oh, I just remembered we left that gate open. Pulled out of there and I left that gate open. I try not to do things like that. Breaks the immersion. All right, so as quickly as possible now, We will get back. Well, we can see from here. No, they're not going anywhere. Our sheep are incredibly happy and well cared for. They have no interest in leaving. So try to stay over here, stay in our lane, and I think this is a water fill point right on the corner. I saw the icon. Let's see what we get here. Yep. So if we do this, and in fact, this is going to bug me so much. I know, right? It's that OCD life. All right. So we'll get this thing filled. And we'll head up there, and then right in here. Right in here. Damn it. Right in here. I don't know if you saw this when we were coming in. This is where I threw our 8 bales that we bought. There's our bobcat. There's our bale spike. So it's all coming together. I don't know how many sheep we want. I mean, I would like to have a few hundred, but I don't know if we can do that, or if we could, how long it would take to do that. All right, so this thing is full. Here we go. And I did see this gate swings in, so we can pull it fairly close to it. Right, like so. And that's going to be water on the left, I imagine. All right. It's a decent amount of water. I don't think it would take that much. We'll check the animal panel when we're done here with food and water and everything. We'll check it. The other way. There we go. See what kind of estimates we can get together for the amount that these animals will consume in a year. And I guess off camera we'll probably get another. I'm going to get 9 more. 11 more. Sorry, 11 more for a total of 25. Yeah, let's do that. I suppose we could do that right now. Nah, we'll wait. I'll do it off camera. Right. So. Yep. I know. I think you'd probably, well, I know you would. I think it's just common sense, but you would probably spend an awful lot of time opening and closing gates, and that would still be preferable to chasing animals down a country lane, trying to gather them all back up when they've slipped out. All right. And this, I'm guessing for 14 sheep, I'm guessing this will be more than enough. So hopefully these 8 bales will last us carefully, at least through this year and possibly into next year. But we will be making hay. I just want to get an idea of what kind of volume we think the animals are going to eat, so we know how many fields to put up as bales. And then the rest can go to the BGA. All right, so put this right here. I also don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a map for the sheep that did not have a bale destroy. But we'll find out momentarily here. Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head if I've ever been on a map that requires a bale shredder at the sheep meadow. Right, so we get that closed. All right. And then we get back in here. And we're going right up here. All right, that was easy enough. So we'll set the brake here. Then we'll go here. And then here. All right. I mean, we're over volume on hay. So we'll just kind of estimate as it comes down. And then on the water, 675 for 14, 3 days, so about 200 liters per day for 14. So that'd be 100 for 7. So about 15 liters per day per animal. Wow. 612 hours to reproduce. I really do think, unless you've got a specifically written geomod, I think the default weather for seasons is pretty brutal. Or the default economy, I guess. Maybe that's a better way to say it. All right, so we get that open. I know I run into things sometimes. I know. Perspective is can be a little tricky in this game. And this, I'm going to pull up right here. Because I think it could be a screenshot. Could be. So drop this down, take the weight off the hydraulics. All right. Come over here and close this gate. That's done. And there you have it. And there's your screenshot. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is Gwenddwr. We'll see you next time. Take care now.